Hey, everybody, welcome.
Hello.
It's Wednesday night. Come celebrate with us, unplug from the world for a while, and hang out with your fellow running, eating, and drinking obsessed people.
Yeah, we're celebrating. We're celebrating not watching the news,
Yes.
not getting hung up on
Hmm.
the stresses of the day. We're
Exactly.
celebrating some time with each other to hang out, come together,
With
enjoy
our
some community with our
friends.
friends. For if you're a human being that likes to eat food and drink liquids and maybe occasionally run, we are the show for you.
And you don't even have to run, really.
We have quite a few
Ryan
listeners
runs
who
Disney.
don't run. Hey, Ryan,
Hey, hey, hey.
over on YouTube, and Jessica jumped in.
Jessica,
Hey,
welcome to the chat. Listen, do you want to deal with business before we
yeah.
start?
Well, okay, we're starting to get some people into the feed
Or do you wanna wait a
now.
little bit?
We'll wait
You
for a
wanna wait a
couple of
little
minutes.
bit?
We do have some housekeeping that we're going to talk about.
Welcome to the Thunderdome of pizza.
Yeah, I actually put that in the show title tonight, so we're
You
kind of letting
did.
people
You
know like
did. Oh my god.
this is going to be a contentious debate, and you guys are too funny. If you are coming over to us from the Instagram chat, welcome. If you didn't join us for the first hour of this over on Instagram, we got into some amazing discussion
We
about
did.
the differences and preferences between New York style pizza versus Chicago style pizza, Montreal bagels versus New York style bagels. And then, of course,
Rhonda Lee is here.
we get into some discussion about snack foods
I'm
like
so happy.
pizza rolls versus bagel bites. So, yeah. So, we are very glad that you guys could join us, and let's tune out the world together for a little bit. And I'm going to quickly share this fact that we're doing this chat here to my Facebook feed.
Josh is here. Rhonda Lee is here. Jessica is here. Ryan Runs Disney is here. I just, yes. So while you're sharing, I just have to say congratulations to anybody and everybody who ran miles this weekend, who ran the Disney Princess, any event, 5K, 10K, half marathon, the challenge, because I know it was very tough since it went virtual. I feel the exact same way about Wine and Dine and Star Wars. And Cheryl is back. Yay. Welcome, Cheryl. Yay. So we have a bunch of people here in the chat. I'm so glad to have you. And let me just say, today we had an amazing thing happen. I have to shout out Josh. And I know we have several of our patrons here in the chat, but let me just say, Josh and Positively Polly, who is that's what she's on Instagram, but it's JoJo, it's Joanne, and oh, here's Rob coming in, but Josh and Joanne or JoJo, they have contributed to our Patreon. JoJo has become an insider, and Josh edited his pledge to become not a founder, but an insider of our show to support all of the awesome enhancements you're seeing to our studio that are still ongoing.
Oh, yeah.
And
We have some big stuff coming.
I see Cheryl is in the chat. I see so many of you in the chat that support our show by jumping into our lives, by sharing our podcast, by and Rob is another insider. Rob, and listen, we can't wait to have you on the show, Rob. I am going to reach out and plan. Don't worry.
We're nervous about planning. The last time we planned, 2020 happened.
Yeah. So I'm
Not
trying to
even kidding.
just, I mean, I had to plan a little bit for this week with Bart Yasso. Speaking of what was on the show, the mayor of Running, the chief running officer for so many decades until 2017 when he retired. I, yeah, I just, we, it's been an amazing couple of weeks because of our patrons,
Mhm.
because of heroes in the running community that we have had the opportunity to chat with,
Oh, yeah.
heroes in the community that have supported us because of the Donna virtual marathon weekend
Which,
events.
by the way, if you are one of our team members and you're still pounding out the miles, let us know, drop in the chat, tell us where you're at in terms of your mileage. And, we will shout you out. We are so
Yes.
appreciative and so,
Yes.
support. We want to support you and everything that you're going to, be doing and accomplishing over the next, few weeks. So,
Yeah.
we're super excited. So the housekeeping event or housekeeping I want to talk about, I
Yeah.
talked about at the very end of our chat.
Yeah.
If by chance you guys are, subscribed to the show and you haven't seen an episode drop today, or if you didn't see last week's episode drop, there's a reason for that. We come to find
Yeah.
out our podcast host, the folks over at Podbean, have been the subject of a distributed denial of service attack or a DDoS attack.
Yeah.
And that's where an internet D-bag decides he's going to try to extort money from the company and say, if you don't pay me, we're going to crash your servers.
So they've
And
been
the company didn't pay.
they've been
And
attacking
this
podcast hosts.
jerks have been attacking podcast hosts. So it's not only
Yeah.
our host at Podbean, it's also Spreaker and Buzzsprout
Buzzsprout.
so far. And they've been attacking their servers nonstop for
Mhm.
several days.
Yeah.
So if there's an off chance that if you are an Apple podcast user, if you have not seen an episode in 2 weeks, that is because of the attack. Try to refresh it. And if it doesn't refresh, unsubscribe and then resubscribe. That should refresh your feed. They got their servers back up. Everything should be up and running and working. It was as of this morning, but it's really unfortunate. There's some jerks out there that are doing, this to, these folks who are just trying to enable us to provide, content to our listeners, and some of our favorite podcasters are going through this exact same thing.
Mhm.
So the good news is if for some reason it's not working, you can listen to the episode right on our website,
Mhm.
and you can listen to it in our Facebook page as well. It's the pinned post at the top of
Mhm.
our
And on
page,
YouTube as
and of
well.
course on YouTube as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So um,
Mhm.
it is absolutely, unfortunate that that's happening, but you know,
Yeah.
the internet's kind of the wild west still, and that means that occasionally you get people in black hats doing black hat things. So
We hope it hasn't affected any of you,
no,
and we hope you can enjoy the amazing when we get people like Jeff Galloway, like Bart Yasso, like Meb Keflesky,
who we interviewed like 2 years ago today,
mm, and, 3
3
years,
years ago.
and then 2 also. We yes.
Yeah.
And Marco Cicchetto. Oh my gosh. You just have to I mean, you hope everything technically works the right way so that everybody can experience the inspiration. And I just can, do the sounds work here?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
work.
yeah,
They should.
yeah.
What are you gonna hit?
Uh, his little stinger.
Do you know that that's the right button? See, Amy's gonna start
I
pushing
think I
buttons.
think it is. I think it is.
Yes, that's the correct one. So here we go.
Listen.
I'm Bart Yasso, and you're listening to the Run, Eat, Drink podcast.
Yeah. So yeah, we were super thrilled to get him on, and he spent so much time with us. We booked it. We booked the interview with him, and we were, at the 45-minute mark. We were like, "Hey, Bart, we want to be respectful of your time. We're done." He's like, "No, no, I'm good. I'm good." I'm
I
like,
can keep
"Yes,
going. I can keep going. And I was
okay."
like, oh.
So it was super, super sweet of him to do that. And Lou Malnati's banner in the background for future episodes. Heck yeah, I'd put something
Mm.
from Lou Malnati's back there. I'd love to put up one of their cooked pies right on this table in front of me.
Yeah,
Just
if they
saying,
would sponsor the show.
they could become the official. What were they calling it over on the YouTube channel? Lou Malnati's is a world famous Chicago style pizza.
So much so that some of our neighbors and friends here, as well as some
Get
of
it,
our podcast listeners,
get it
get
shipped.
it shipped to them.
But somebody was
Yes.
referring to Chicago
Yes.
style pizza as a sauce casserole. I believe that was the term that was used
I
over
love Chicago
on the YouTube
pizza.
chat or on the
I love Chicago
Instagram chat.
pizza. I love New York pizza. I love Chicago pizza. I love all pizza.
Well, yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Rhonda Lee, are you still in the chat? Can you explain the different kinds of bagels?
Yeah. Okay. So there's a debate. I
Also,
made mention of it, and I need to do more research. There is a giant debate, like a schism online of people
like what the
debating the difference or who has the superior bagel, whether it's
yeah.
New York bagels or, of all places, our friends north of the border in Montreal. Montreal bagels are apparently coming on strong here in the United States, and now there's this whole
All
debate.
right.
So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But while you're looking for that, I'm going to let everybody know we're going to kind of start our part of the chat with something a little bit different. We're going to be sinning.
Oh,
We're
yes.
sinning a little bit with Original Sin
Yes. And
pineapple hard cider.
I like that over the last few beer chats, we've shared some like gluten-free options that are like a lot of ciders are gluten-free.
Yes.
This one is from Original Sin, and I enjoy Original Sin very much because they have a Black Widow cider, and Black Widow is my favorite Marvel, hero. So
Now,
because
to be fair, that is not actually Marvel themed. It just happens to be named
no,
Black Widow.
but it happens to be named Black Widow. So
And actually you can't see the set piece. We're gonna when we get
what?
everything done, I've got
Yeah.
more LED lighting coming, and we're gonna be doing some more changes here on the set. We're gonna be having some LED lights happening back here in the background. There is actually the official licensed Marvel Barbie doll of Black Widow on the set back there that
It's
I
true.
grabbed for Amy because
It's
she
true.
uh, pointed out the fact that they have done a pretty terrible job of properly marketing the Black Widow movie.
But there's also a Funko Pop of her.
Well, we have the Funko Pop.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
just not
entire
showing. It's
Avengers.
just not it's not
Yeah.
showing.
So we have a bunch of stuff back
See?
there, and you'll be able to see some of this more prominently once we get everything done.
Yeah. Okay, Rhonda Lee. She says, but okay. So yeah, we have Original Sin pineapple cider, and there's a
We do.
reason why we have the pineapple cider, in addition to sharing things that may be gluten free and things like that. But
We
that
do indeed.
this is from Original Sin. It is
I'm going to show off the can here
it
while you're
asks
reading that.
it asks us if we sin today, but it doesn't say what the ABV. Oh, it's 6.0.
It's 6%. It's
6%.
prominently displayed on the can, which I'm about to show off
We
here.
ferment the highest quality fresh pressed New York apples to dryness using champagne yeast and then our blend of tart pineapple juice. This tropical fruit is indigenous to South America. In the wild, pineapple plants can yield fruit for up to 50 years. 50 years. Pineapple cores contain high levels of bromelain. If I'm
Bromelain.
bromelain,
Yeah.
bromelain, tomato, an enzyme which can be used to tenderize meats.
Yes.
The sweet and tart qualities of this fruit balance well against the natural acidity of freshly pressed apples.
Okay. Well,
Yes.
the color is a nice cloudy yellow. I mean, this is I you could say this looks pineapple-y, but it definitely smells pineapple-y.
It does. Cheers.
Cheers.
To our new patrons and our upgraded patrons and any patrons who are supporting our show, as well as everybody in the chat tonight, we love you.
If you're just supporting the show by hanging out, we also appreciate you as well.
And fighting the subscribe and unsubscribe and resubscribe situation.
Yeah. So yeah, gotta love technology. It's great when it works.
This is tart, but is not as sour as the margarita goza we had on the Instagram chat.
Yeah, we have we're going to be featuring two drinks here tonight. We did one
I like it.
specific to the Instagram chat. That was
Bring that here.
margarita goza from Cigar City Brewing in Tampa, Florida. Check that out. I think that we'll probably share some of that on social media at some point.
Possibly. if I remember to take pictures.
Ryan says stupid spell check. Yeah,
Mm,
I hear you, man.
yes. Blue Malnati's. We got you because we have a neighbor who gets it shipped
He gets them shipped. He gets them shipped all the time.
all the time.
He keeps them in the house,
He
like
loves it.
period. There's
Absolutely loves it.
always Lou Malnati's in the house,
So, yeah.
and they
So,
like it.
I will tell you that we got this, and Rhonda Lee is helping us in the chat with the bagel thing. But I will tell you before we get off of the topic of the pineapple cider,
Hmm.
I got the pineapple cider because it's a nod to the drink that we share
Oh yeah. Well, on this week's episode,
in our episode.
if you haven't listened yet, please give it a listen. Aside from having an amazing interview with Bart Yasso,
You
we
hear our
also
dogs under the table.
yeah, we feature a couple of recipes that you can do at home. So we're wanting to put some arrows in your quiver as you continue your fitness goals for 2021. Of course,
Indeed.
our food option is gives you a great healthy plant-based option that you can also do as a non-plant-based option as well, and it's
Hmm.
a pretty, I think, pretty killer Cuban or Spanish bean soup.
Spanish bean soup, which harkens back to the very first episode of the Run Eat Drink podcast,
Yeah.
because it is inspired by the Columbia restaurant here.
Yes.
So,
And also another one that we haven't covered on the show,
which
but
we
we
need
love
to in Orlando.
in Orlando, and
Speaking of,
that's Cafe Tutu Tango.
oh, so good.
They have a soup there called the Sopa de Leon,
It
which
is
is
so good.
phenomenal.
So good.
And so Montreal
All right.
bagels are cooked in a wood-fired oven. Okay, see, this to me sounds like they've taken the New York bagel and turned it up to 11, is what it sounds like to me. Because
The Montreal bagel is smaller, thinner, sweeter, and denser
Amy's looking online here, trying to find out what the deal is here.
with a
If
larger hole and is always baked in a wood fire oven.
There you go. Rhonda Lee for the win.
Thank you, Rhonda Lee.
Thank you. That actually answers the question.
Love it.
Now here's my thing. I got to find a place here locally that serves them. We need to do some A/B comparison
Oh,
because there's again, you can we were doing these big food debates. If you're doing just bagels, you could do there's a debate raging between people who are all eating New York bagels, and that's scooped versus unscooped.
oh.
Which I don't believe in scooping the bagel. I want the bagel.
I believe in having the bagel, and you know me as a sauce person
You are a sauce person.
or
Toppings.
sides, toppings
Yeah.
person. So you know that I will get a bagel and I will get an inordinate amount of cream cheese on the side. And if I have the bagel toasted, then I'll break off pieces and I'll dip in the side of cream cheese
Oh yeah.
and like just make sure that it's all coated and so that I enjoy all that is the cream cheese with the bready deliciousness of a bagel.
Yeah. Now, who was it that posted in our Instagram feed or tagged us in Instagram? They were having an everything bagel with cream cheese, and then they were having a hard boiled egg with everything bagel topping on top of the everything or on top of
Was that our new
the
patron?
egg. It may have been. I just remember seeing that, and I was thinking to myself, you know what I'm in the mood for is actually if I were going to do a bagel right now, I would probably do something with some smoked salmon and egg. There was a place that I used to go to in Atlanta called St. Charles Deli.
Oh,
It's no longer there anymore, unfortunately. But when Amy and I were dating, we would go there and we would get
back in
breakfast
the day.
way back in the day. And we would
So
get
old.
breakfast and they would do basically, smoked salmon or lox, uh, eggs. And, oh, it was Cheryl. Cheryl said, that was
Cheryl,
me. Yeah. So your post actually brought me back to this memory
here it
of
is.
us dating, and
Here it is.
they
I'm
did
bringing it
this
up.
amazing breakfast where they would basically, they
Look
would
at the
toast the
eggs.
bagels, they would
Yum.
serve it open faced, and you'd have basically lox, eggs, and onions, and then you'd have the cream cheese. Oh, so good.
I love a good hot boiled egg. I don't necessarily like them cold, but I like them hot boiled
Oh, you
eggs.
want them served warm, you mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't want them cold.
Okay.
You know how some people can get them cold and deal with that?
Like egg salad. Yeah.
Not me. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. So Cheryl, for the win, your post looked amazing, and now I want a bagel. But I just need maybe double the amount of cream cheese there, or the ability to dip, or mm, I'm just saying that our patrons and our audience here are superbly amazing. Ryan Runs Disney, the pictures you post of Epcot and the Festival of the Arts and the Flower and Garden Festival, amazing.
Yeah,
Just
seriously.
saying.
And we haven't done Festival of the
We
Arts yet.
really need to. I was so hoping we could get up there for our patron Kristen's birthday.
Yeah, I've been seeing her
Oh,
posts, which was fantastic, have been
and she just
fantastic.
looked beautiful in her outfits. And I just her pictures and everything from I just wanted to be there so badly.
Yeah, we had to let you guys in on a little bit of our life, I guess.
Mm.
You know, we
I
did,
mentioned it a little bit,
yeah,
I think, in the
did a
coffee
little
chat
refi on the
this morning.
house
Yeah.
and had to be here to close and do all that fun stuff. It was all adult stuff, not
Yeah.
very
It
exciting, but
wasn't fun.
required our presence. So the you know, it just
Not
it's not the sexiest thing to be doing, you know, with your week, but
it's just gonna pay off in the long run though.
pays off very quickly in the
be-
long run, which is
Because
nice.
it will allow us to continue.
Well, it also is going to help with some of the other upgrades that we're going to be doing here in the studio, which is going to be very nice.
Yeah.
Although I am realizing very quickly that once we do everything we're talking about doing here in the studio, we're losing some wall space. We're going to be mounting our computer to the wall
Mhm.
behind a TV, and we're going to move this table back and be closer to the set, to the backdrop. Uh, but once I do that, like man, like our diplomas and like awards and stuff,
Like
because
when I was teaching, I have the golden apple up there.
yeah, she's got some cool stuff, and then I've got some old stuff from my dad. I've got like his Masonic
Yeah, I
certificate
love that.
and everything still framed, just
Work.
kind of nice homage pieces. We're
We'll
gonna have
have
to
to,
find some
yeah,
space for
like
those
along the
elsewhere,
side. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, really very
We
we're
framed the
very
first time we
excited.
had an advertiser on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to rein that in and post it elsewhere. Mm.
And Cheryl's breakfast that she posted, aside from evoking a memory in me, that also looked to me like to be the perfect pre-run. About the right portion size,
Oh yeah.
nice combination of protein, fat, carbs. That'd be great. Um,
Yeah.
Fortunately, I don't have a long run for like 2 more weeks because we're doing the Bart Yasso interview.
Because
I'm Bart Yasso, and you're listening to the Run, Eat, Drink podcast.
She's so amused by that.
I'm sorry, it's like the weather bell, but so much more awesome.
The fact that we've
I'm
got
sorry.
him over the next three episodes total gives me a little more time to do some training runs ahead of my final run in my Metal Chasers Assemble Avengers themed half that's coming up.
Rub it in. So behind.
Well, you will pay the running gods their due.
I will.
That's going to
Eventually.
happen.
Probably in the heat of the summer.
Well, but you were also you shared a little bit. Amy got cleared to do some running this week.
Yeah, and now I'm paying for it.
She got cleared to do a little
I
bit of
think I
running.
did too much.
So of course, the Therabeast,
Too
hashtag Therabeast,
much.
thanks to Josh. Josh gave us the idea for hashtagging that.
It's too much. I did too
said
much.
said, oh yeah, you could do a half mile
Yeah.
and do intervals. So
Okay.
Amy's done it now twice.
And she said, whenever she said after it's over and you feel it and you're normally sore, it's just if it goes away, that's good. If it sticks around, you need to take some more time off. So
you got to take some time off.
yeah, because afterwards I had to do some self-care.
Yeah, icing, elevating.
Yeah, using the BFF massager. Anybody who's out there who follows Jeff Galloway and sees that as a tool for circulation of like the blood flow and the healing and everything. So good.
Absolutely. The
Mhm.
I was like when we first saw it, like the BFFs, we were at a race expo. I'm like,
He didn't think it would be good.
well, no, I look at it and I go, it's an orbital waxer for like waxing your car. And it kind of is, but then they repurposed it and I think made some adjustments to the motor in the thing. And it's basically an industrial massager. And I mean, it absolutely works. It's worth every penny.
It is.
But thank goodness they came up with a travel size version of that thing. So
I
if you're going
love
to
it
races, you can actually pack that thing as opposed to having to get it and check it.
because I feel like it has the same power.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Josh.
What?
He's
He
calling us the
says he
cutest
says it.
couple.
We're so
And hashtag
Of
Therabeast.
course.
Exactly. Amy told her about that, by the
Yeah,
way.
and I don't know if she was offended.
She
I'm
wasn't
not I hope
offended.
she wasn't offended.
If she was, she'd have taken it out on you.
Well,
You'd have known.
I did football drills at PT, so yeah. She
No,
I think maybe I'm not sure. I hope she wasn't offended, but
no.
I feel like
Kristen is amazing. She's PhD, super duper, like more degrees than
I love
a
her.
thermometer, and she is just uh,
I absolutely love her.
and she'll break it down for you. Like, here's why we're doing this exercise. Here's why we're doing this
To
exercise.
build up hip strength, to build up quads, the
And
hamstrings, the whatever.
and she's always very pleasant, and you look
And very
forward to.
positive. She's like, "You can do it. You got this." And she doesn't say anything else. It's just, you're going to do it
And yeah, she's great.
because she knows your limits, because she knows us well. Yes.
But yeah, at the end of it, you feel like first rule of Fight Club: don't talk about Fight Club. Yeah, you feel like you just went 3 rounds.
Well, I think I might have been compensating or favoring.
I think you were because she's running. She's got the knee that was worked on, and now she's like, "Now my other knee hurts." And I'm like, "That's because you're favoring it, trying not to put to pound that other one, and have too much impact when you're
Hmm.
on the worked on knee,"
So I took today off,
which was smart.
icing, elevating, all the things. And so then I don't think I'm going to run again before I see her. I think I am going to do self care and the stretches that she wants me to do,
Very
and
smart.
just, yeah, and maybe some very, like, not twisty yoga,
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
yeah. Some of the more stationary positions and stuff like
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
That'd be a better way to go, I think.
For stress relief and things like that. So yeah,
So
there I am. Would you get this again?
I'm going to bring it back around to this. The original sin ciders, uh, ciders and meads. I have to be in the right mood for them, but this is actually an excellent option.
Are you all familiar with Original Sin? Have you had
Yeah,
this?
if you haven't had a cider from these guys, you really ought to consider checking them out. I have to tell you, they are phenomenal.
Mhm.
And this one here,
No. No, no, no.
no, she's not hateful by any stretch. She is really, really awesome, but she, doesn't take excuses, and
Nope.
she gets you moving, and she knows the deal, and she likes working with younger patients because she says she gets a lot of elderly people in there, and it's a lot of the same stuff. She can't do as much of the fun exercises as she can with with a younger um, patient. But if you were a child of the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, what this will remind you of is pineapple orange crush.
Oh.
Have any of you guys ever had that? Have you ever had the pineapple or pineapple? I'm
Oh.
sorry, pineapple crush, not pineapple orange crush.
Oh.
Pineapple crush soda, or pineapple Fanta. Have you ever had that? That's kind of what this reminds me of, except a little less sweet.
Has anybody had the Black Widow version? Black Widow version of the cider?
Well, hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
One question at a time.
My bad.
Pineapple.
Good God. You. Okay.
Josh is like, I keep hearing Gunnery Sergeant Hartman. I'm Gunnery Sergeant Hartman. You're a senior drill instructor. Yeah, no, I know.
War movies
I
and you.
I used to have that as a ringtone. So
Which war movie is that?
Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket that I never saw. Sorry.
There are several classic movies. As
Listen, I only had
Amy's a
that.
literature nerd, but she didn't see all the movies.
I only had to see one movie in order to gain entrance into this marriage
That's true. That
or
was
into the dating life.
and that was Army of Darkness.
Yes. This is my boomstick.
See, and she still knows it.
Okay.
To this day.
Yeah. Happy, happy, happy. 2 decades later. Over.
But anyway, if you guys have ever had Pineapple Crush,
It's good.
that's very similar to what this tastes like. Highly recommend it. Check them out.
Yes.
This is one you're not going to regret. But yeah, so over on the other chat, we were talking about the difference between, of course, we've covered the Montreal bagel versus the New York style bagel. I think
It's my
boomstick.
boomstick.
Exactly. Love it. If we could ever find a reason to get Bruce Campbell on the show.
Oh my God, that would be great. Anyway.
Oh, Stacy's got to go. Stacy, we'll talk to you next time. Thank you so much for jumping in, Stacy.
Sleep well.
Get some rest.
We'll talk to you soon.
Get rest. Yeah, if we could ever get Bruce Campbell on the show for any reason whatsoever.
Are you kidding me?
I would,
Oh my God.
I would figure out a reason, but I'd love to get him on the show. Wow. Okay, so you're eyeballing the growler.
Yes.
We do have. I'm petting.
And I was
the growler.
also Googling like places we could go get in Montreal bagel.
Well, if you can find a Montreal bagel around here, I would love to do an A/B comparison. We were talking about New York style versus Chicago style pizza. Josh has some very strong opinions about Chicago style and versus New York style pizza here.
Yes.
Our favorite pizzeria is made by a native of New York, but it is not a traditional New York style pizza.
No.
He does a hand tossed kind of a hybrid. It's it's a hand tossed.
Yes.
Wouldn't call it a thin crust.
No.
It's a hand tossed crust.
I think it's like a medium crust.
Yeah.
It's solid. It holds the toppings well, and it gives them the ability to play with white pizzas versus red pizzas and do a lot of different kinds.
And they do so many different kinds of pizzas there at Nice Guys here in Cape Coral, Florida.
So great.
But
the one I showed off, the pierogi pizza in the coffee chat yesterday.
That was so good. Again, some people would even argue it's even a pizza, but if you like pierogies and you like pizza, this is the perfect marriage. And Greg and Jovan at Nice Guys Pizza, they started experimenting with a mashed potato topping on a pizza with their Thanksgiving pizza,
which is called the wishbone.
The wishbone, yeah. And it's basically Thanksgiving dinner on a pizza. I'm going to open this, guys. So I'm hoping that the noise isn't too bad. So I apologize. Mouse Ears and Magic joined in.
James J. Williams. Speaking of patrons, we were just celebrating Josh, and we were celebrating JoJo.
Well, we're celebrating all of our patrons, but Josh upgraded his patronage today, and JoJo signed up, and we cannot thank her enough.
Yes, and James J. Williams from the Mouse Ears and Magic podcast is also a patron of ours, and he had a great discussion on This Is Life podcast tonight, which is why you're coming in late, but better late than never.
Oh, I wanted to join in on that.
And I can't wait to watch it back. So this that Dana is pouring is from a local brewery. We had Original Sin, which is widely distributed, which is a pineapple cider that we just had. I don't know if Sarah would like that, James. This is from Coastal Days Brewery in Fort Myers, and they're coming up on their anniversary in April.
They are. How many years? Do we know?
I think it's 3.
I think so.
I think it's 3. If anybody in the chat is from Coastal Days, let us know. So,
okay.
What?
James
What
is
is
saying,
wrong?
he trusts nothing we say about Thanksgiving dinner now.
What?
We
Come
knew,
on.
okay, we knew that the Brock's
Really?
candies flavored like Thanksgiving dinner were going to be horrible. That was really more of a dare. This
And a
pe-
joke.
this pizza
And we mailed some to him.
is very, very similar in a lot of respects to the Thanksgiving poutine they serve at the refreshment port in Epcot.
Do you know about this? Do
And
you
if
know Festival of the Holidays and the refreshment port and how they do the sweet potato fries and then all the Thanksgiving toppings? Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. If you don't trust me about anything else Thanksgiving, if you're at Disney, go to
Yes,
the refreshment port and get the Thanksgiving poutine.
that's a location at Disney that's so often
Mm,
overlooked because
mm, mm.
it's not themed.
Oh,
It's not one of the countries, so people kind of think it's just
but
kind of
it's
generic
like
food, but then they have these things that they throw in there that are absolutely killer
it's so good.
secrets that you
Oh
don't
my
know about unless
gosh.
you walk up
It's
and check
so
out the
good. So good. I cannot wait to get back there and have any poutine that they have at the refreshment port. What?
yeah, Josh said, and there goes the chat.
What is happening now?
Because James is here.
What is happening?
Josh just said, there goes the chat because James is here.
Well,
That's what's happening.
here we go. This that we're having next while we're catching up on the chat is the Booty Barrel aged Buffalo Trace Stout.
Yeah, Booty Barrel, everything, every beer, all the theming at Coastal Days is of a nautical
So
theme,
booty is like fortune,
like yeah, or treasure, like
treasure.
pirate's
Yes,
booty,
exactly.
Booty,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
they do a regular Booty Barrel
Well, the
stout.
last Booty
That's
Barrel they had was just in a maple
yeah,
barrel.
maple
And so
barrel,
this is a Buffalo Trace barrel.
and they got a Buffalo
So
Trace barrel
I
for
feel
this
like we have a
one.
series coming, and that is quite delightful. This is 8.5% ABV. It is their oatmeal stout called the Real Stout, laid to rest in Buffalo Trace bourbon barrels for 5 months. A strong bourbon flavor can be found throughout the palate, which complements the dark roast notes such as coffee and chocolate from the grain.
Cheers.
Cheers to all of you.
Now I talked about this one on the last chat because
What's Rhonda Lee saying about the bagels?
this is well, Rhonda discovered bagels in Halifax
The
last
Montreal
summer.
bagels.
We'll need to make another trip 5 hours away to get some really. And now say, okay,
I think we're gonna have to
Rhonda, we are going to have to meet up.
Yeah,
We are. I say this about a lot of our patrons. We're
I
of the
know.
same mindset. I will drive hours for good food.
Hmm.
There's a place in Tampa that we go for noodles that I would drive 2 hours just to get noodles.
Asian kitchen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now I am partial to them because it's a friend of mine from high school that owns it. But yeah, amazing.
We need to go back to Tampa. We need to go back to the freshman port at Epcot. We need to go. Well, we need to go places.
Well, we're getting there.
Mhm.
We are getting there.
Okay, David.
Oh, Josh has. Hold on. See if
See if.
Coastal will make a boomstick brew for the Bruce Campbell time on the show. Let me tell you,
Oh,
I
that
think
would
that
be
would be
great!
that's
Oh
an
my god!
amazing idea. I think you ought to mention that.
Somebody's got to do it.
Well, when you went to pick up the beer, you sat and chatted with the brewer.
I did.
So it wouldn't surprise me if he was
He
a Army
said,
of Darkness or Evil Dead fan. He
"I don't know.
probably.
Maybe
I mean, he seems
you
like he's a
don't.
man of good taste.
Do you think he was too young for that? Because he is a young whippersnapper.
That's a movie that transcends age. I'm just saying.
Mm.
If you've never seen Army of Darkness, I
And I
highly
am like an
recommend it.
old fart.
Wait a minute. Mouse Ears and Magic. It's been years since I've been to Epcot.
Are you
What?
serious?
You are killing me, Smalls.
Come on.
Get your butt to Epcot. Go.
Soarin' Test
Yeah.
Track, Mission Space,
Food and
Spaceship
Wine
Earth,
Festival.
Food and Wine Festival, Flower and Garden Festival,
Run
Festival
the
of the
Wine and Dine
Arts.
with us.
Yes, do the 5K.
Do the 5K or 10K with us. Just saying.
We will walk,
We'll walk
with
it
you.
with you.
We don't care about
Yeah.
time. Have you seen our shirts that say we're not slow? And then on the back it says, "We make the most of the race entry fee." Come
Absolutely.
on.
That's us.
We will walk a 5K with anybody, and then we need to go to, like, Art Smith's for brunch,
Oh, yeah.
and then we need to have Epcot on that weekend day. Totally.
And
David.
David's one of our favorites. Local, uh, one of our local heroes here works in Lee County EMS.
Yes.
Thank you for your service, David. You rock.
Yes.
The maple was a little sweet, but that bourbon one was right up my alley. So David's had what we're having tonight.
Ooh.
Yeah, the bourbon one was, or the maple one was a little bit sweet. That was coming out of what they had done. Their barrel initially was a bourbon barrel, and then it had been used by a maple syrup company
Yes.
that aged their maple syrup in the bourbon barrel.
Mhm, mhm.
And then they emptied that barrel and then they got it. So it was a maple bourbon barrel aged.
Yeah.
This is just coming straight out of the bourbon barrel,
So it's
minus the maple,
so this one is
less sweet.
but very boozy. And if you like Buffalo Trace, you will like this.
Oh yeah. Okay. A lot of people will ask, and we've actually talked about this, I think, in episodes before. Um, Recommendations for bourbon. Bourbons are very different. They run such a
Yes.
wide gamut. I've got 4 bourbons from a single distiller in our cabinet right now.
Rabbit hole.
No, none of them taste the same.
Yeah, because they're
They're
treated differently.
very unique. Um,
Treated, not like mistreated,
no, they don't mistreat their bourbon,
but treated
but
differently.
um, finding a good bourbon that you maybe want to have as your house bourbon from either making cocktails or
Yeah.
sipping, sometimes they're not the same. Um,
No.
I Depending on what you like, Buffalo Trace for me, as far as a bourbon that's not going to break the bank
I love it.
and is good for either sipping or for making cocktails,
I don't think our
it's a great
patron,
choice.
John Schroeder is in the chat. I don't think our insider, John Schroeder's in the chat today, but he says we introduced him to bourbon and his favorite is Buffalo Trace.
Nice. Well, I
So,
mean, it's not a bad choice,
yeah.
and they do have several options in terms of what they make. But
Mhm.
yeah, if you're looking for just a good, like you can get a 750 milliliter bottle of Buffalo Trace for about $25.
Which is great because it's so, I just love it. It's
Fla-
versatile.
Flavor wise, it's good enough to sip, but it also has a strong enough flavor profile to cut through mixers if you're doing cocktails.
12 hours for the best food in Chi Town.
Ooh. Well, when we get up that way, we're gonna have to hook up with Josh because I'm just
Well,
we need a guide.
he's in Alabama,
Well, okay, well then we're gonna have to tell him to tell us where to go because
right? He'll be our virtual tour guide.
he seems to know his way around Chicago. Just
Yeah.
saying. Wait a minute. Okay, hold on. We're not Epcot people.
What do you mean we're not Epcot people?
Kids would be super bored.
Well,
You know,
I guess
Epcot's a different animal.
it is. I think it's different from Magic Kingdom because there's a lot to keep the kids occupied in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. Yeah. I can understand
So,
that.
an adults only trip versus a trip with the kiddos, very different. It's very different. So, I understand that. Totally.
Oh,
Oh,
AJ jumped in. Blanton's. AJ's not
AJ
wrong.
Blanton. Yeah, that's good. That's
Blanton's
good.
is excellent.
Mhm.
And David is chiming back in with Woodford now.
Oh, Woodford is
Woodford
so good.
Woodford's a good bet. Now, again, Blanton's has several and that range the gamut in terms of the flavor profile as well as price. Same for Woodford. But we are Woodford fans for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Blanton's fans too.
Mhm.
But you know, if you're, I'm thinking more in terms of a value proposition for when I start talking Buffalo Trace. Buffalo Trace's standard offering run you about $25 to $28 a bottle.
So I like that one because it's versatile because you can sip it on the rocks or straight, or you can use it in a mixer.
I don't know that I put a lot of I wouldn't put Blanton's in a cocktail, and I wouldn't put
So
and depending on the Woodford straight Woodford, I might do in a cocktail. The higher
Woodford, you put in a cocktail?
for the straight the standard Woodford, yeah, I might do in a cocktail.
Okay.
But you know, if I'm getting some of their higher, you know, top shelf stuff, then
That's
no.
sipping,
Yeah, it's a
like
sip.
the rabbit hole that we have.
Yes.
So,
And
Jen,
Jen's
how was
here.
statistics tonight?
L-
Welcome.
Yeah, let us know.
You crunched the numbers, and now you're here, and we're enjoying chats about all of the different bourbons right now. But we were talking about pizza. We've been talking about ciders. We've been talking about our amazing interview with Bart Yasso.
Part 1 is up in the feed. We're very excited.
I won't do it again.
AJ,
Okay.
Dominic loves Woodford. Dominic is a man after my own heart.
Yeah, Woodford
And that doesn't
is
surprise me that,
it.
yeah, I mean,
You know how we
man of good taste.
oh gosh. So this is Buffalo Trace. This was aged in Buffalo Trace barrels.
Buffalo Trace Barrel.
Harkens back to Kentucky. Harkens back to so many great things that we've been talking about tonight.
Oh,
So,
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, including some of the great Mexican food that we've had there.
Okay, yeah, that we were talking about this on the Instagram chat earlier. Some of the best Mexican food we've ever had was in Kentucky.
Yeah,
And Josh pointed out, he's like, yeah, you find some amazing Mexican in weird spots,
weird
and it's
spots.
totally true. You do, and down here in Florida, it's very true, and not only for Mexican but also for Cuban food, which is popping up. And oh, Cheryl just chimed in with Four Roses. Amy's a big Four Roses fan.
Yes, and let me tell you that one of our friends from the Extra Mile podcast group, Suzanne, who set us up with all of the great places in Kentucky to go in Lexington, she bought us a little bottle of Four Roses, and amazing!
Yeah, Four Roses is
Yay!
good stuff. And no, AJ, I'm not mixing Blanton's.
No,
Not happening.
mm-mm.
Oh, Jen's ready to start back up with
The pizza
start back up with pizza. This isn't pizza. There was a great debate going
and
on the
Instagram.
Instagram about New York versus Chicago pizza. These guys
Yes,
were so
yes.
funny. And oh, Jen's so hard not to comment while learning about the numbers. Yeah, Jen's doing her statistics class. It looks like David's taking statistics in the summer.
Y'all are
Two should hook up.
just you're a beast. You are both beasts because
I don't miss it.
the math,
I don't.
like maybe you can share secrets or tips or tricks with each other to make it through.
Well, there was a year in my career
Or
where
maybe you're just naturally talented. I
I
don't
was the
know.
planner for my agency, and I had to become or go to the certification class and do all that. And it was I did all of the statistics for our chief of police, and I do not envy our current planner. His position, you basically get paid to do other people's homework for them.
It's
Um,
tough.
yeah, I was not a fan.
The stats are tough.
But yeah, statistics, not a fan.
Stats are tough. Now, I feel there are like Cheryl is commenting about the rye
Mm.
versus bourbon.
Rye versus bourbon. Now that is almost as a divisive debate as New York style versus Chicago style pizza. Rye versus bourbon.
Why can't you love both?
Well, I think you can. But then there's the purists who will say, but again, bourbon is a very specific definition.
Oh yeah.
Made in America,
Mhm.
51%
Mhm.
corn, coming off the still at a certain proof, being
Mhm.
bottled at a certain proof.
Yes.
Um, all of it's whiskey.
Mhm.
I'm a fan of scotch.
I know.
I can love it all. So,
It's really
we
peaty
are
though.
allowed.
Mm.
Oh, and Cheryl's also saying Basil Hayden's.
Basil
Yes.
Hayden's we have in our
We
cabinet
have in the cabinet.
too. Yes.
And Jen's commenting, may the force be with you, David.
Oh,
I do not,
for statistics.
yeah, I do not envy you
Mm.
that at all.
My dad
There must be a conversation happening about sushi over
is a math
in
professor.
YouTube.
Yes.
Sushi.
Oh,
Now,
what is happening?
I don't know. We missed some of the comments in the YouTube chain, but
Oh, we missed it.
sushi.
Oh.
We're sushi fans. We got some spots that are really good for sushi.
Have you all been to Splitsville? Hello.
Yeah, if we're talking Disney or properties that are on Disney. Splitsville is at Disney Springs. It's a grown up, what do you call it? Bowling alley. But their sushi game is
Bowling alley fun,
insanely good.
elevated food game.
Yes, elevated food game.
Mhm.
It's insanely good, but they do have locations off of the Disney property.
Tampa.
Tampa, I think they got one in Miami.
They might.
I think.
Yeah. It's
And
good.
then
It's good.
and then here we go. Cheryl saying she prefers rye
Rye.
over bourbon. Here we go.
I like rye.
It depends on the rye.
So
Some ryes are very smooth, others are very biting.
what's in a Manhattan?
Typically rye. Typically rye.
Yeah.
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 In the traditional preparation of the cocktail.
And I love it. There was a great Manhattan we had over it.
Here we go.
Casa.
Shots fired about
Oh, Lord.
New York versus Chicago. Here we go.
Casa Stefano has a great Manhattan.
Well, okay, we were talking about the Columbia Restaurant Group in the Instagram chat.
Yes.
Casa Santo Stefano in Tampa is the newest restaurant concept that the Columbia Restaurant Group opened.
So good.
It is a
So
traditional
good.
Sicilian restaurant, not to be confused with a typical typical continental Italian restaurant. Their food is much more
There's a
more
difference
heavily
between
influenced.
a just traditional Italian and traditional Sicilian.
Oh yeah,
Like it's
Sicily is not the boot.
it's like
It's off the boot.
the whole debate we've been having about Chicago versus New York versus Detroit style pizza.
But both the Columbia restaurant proper and Casa Santa Stefano have an amazing Manhattan that is not to be missed if you're going to go up to or here in the Florida area. And
if you're going to go to Tampa, if you ever run Gasparilla, then the Columbia.
Yeah,
and
I would say that's a must do if you're going to go run Gasparilla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if the Columbia does the after party where you can eat all the Columbia food.
Oh,
and
Susie just jumped in. Hey, Susie.
Susie, welcome.
Glad you could stop by for a minute.
Yay.
Stay as long as you can.
Mwah. Love you.
We're debating all kinds of amazing culinary stuff tonight.
Oh, yeah. Like Chicago versus New York style pizza.
Montreal versus New York bagels. We haven't even delved into the frozen food debate yet, which is coming very shortly, which is the Totino's pizza rolls versus bagel bites debate.
I can tell you where I stand, but you all can comment.
I don't think there's a right or wrong answer here.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're right. You can like them all.
You can like them all.
But before we get there,
oh,
what I was saying about that cocktail and going to the Columbia or one of their restaurants, it is, if you're going to do that race got postponed and allegedly is going to be happening in May.
But we don't know for sure.
Fingers crossed that race happens in May. I hope that they are able to pull it off and that they're able to do it. If you're thinking about that race, we've run it a couple of times. We love it. It's a phenomenal race. That is a race that is mostly flat, incredibly beautiful, right by the water for the most part, and just a great feel. I mean, you really do, like, all the runners are just super friendly. The race organizers know how to do it right. I mean, Publix, which is our big chain of not restaurants, but you got an updated?
Yeah. 2021 Publix Gasparilla Distance Classic Race Weekend Update. During a Facebook Live event on Monday evening, February 22nd, we announced the decision that due to COVID-19, the 2021 Gasparilla Distance Classic Race weekend events will convert to 100% virtual.
Come on, Tampa. Really?
Ryan, thanks for chiming in on Instagram and Facebook.
Man.
We love you, and we love your input.
And Susie is coming down on the side of Chicago. Josh, you are not alone, my friend.
Yeah.
You are not alone.
Yeah.
Just like you and I are not alone for the bagel bites. Okay, so
Totino's pizza roll. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. So
Is anybody
Gasparilla
with
has
me?
gone virtual.
Yeah, Gasparilla went virtual.
Okay.
Sorry.
So here's the deal. If you are looking at coming down to Florida, just to
Usually it happens in February.
it's normally a February race. If you're looking
Mhm.
to this race
Mm.
next year, when it happens, and we are going to be talking about this probably as we head into summer, because we've been talking about the potential of doing a Run Eat Drink podcast meetup for the Donna in Jacksonville. There
Oh,
is a two-part uh, challenge where if you run the Donna in Jacksonville and then you run the Gasparilla, you get a third medal, a challenge medal called the Treasured Chest Challenge.
yes.
Okay, so you said, oh, you're reading something on their website.
Uh-huh. The good news, the city of Tampa has given us the approval to close Bayshore Boulevard on Saturday and Sunday, May 8th and 9th, so that our registered participants can run or walk their virtual race on Bayshore.
Oh,
We hoped to create an experience that, given the extreme circumstances of COVID-19, was still offer a small portion of the traditional Gasparilla, the public's Gasparilla Distance Classic weekend, running or walking on Bayshore Boulevard.
well, okay. If you're looking at doing that, honestly, the best part of that race is actually the part that's on Bayshore anyway,
It's true.
and you're only doing the first well, about the first 4 miles or so. Uh,
Mm.
are not on Bayshore. Everything else is on Bayshore. So
They're
if
still
you're
gonna
thinking about doing that,
they're gonna host an expo at the Tampa Convention Center, East Hall.
so I'm not really sure why they're even bothering with this whole virtual thing, because basically the only difference here is the part that's on Davis Island isn't going to happen,
They're not gonna have a post race celebration.
and they're not going to do a post race. Okay.
Mm.
Honestly, that's not bad. I think that I would be okay with that. Now,
So
the drawback is because of the reschedule here, doing this race in May is going to be a warm one. It's going to be a warm one. So, oh yeah, here we go. Josh has chimed in on yes, the Totino's pizza rolls. How much of your mouth do you want to scorch at one time? See, biting into a Totino's pizza roll is like eating napalm bites.
listen to me when I say you have to know the proper technique.
I have no self-control. You
Okay,
know this about me.
fine. Fine.
You're right. I recognize that you're correct. I'm just saying I'm not good at it. So yeah.
Mhm.
And oh, wait a minute. Trisha Moore is saying bagel bites are made in Fort Myers. Are they really?
No kidding.
I had
Oh my
no.
god.
Number one, we need to find out where, and we need to get a tour,
Yes.
and we can actually. I would love that. That's awesome. Thank you,
We just okay. Fine.
Susie. Thank you for jumping in.
Susie,
We are super thrilled you were able to.
we love you. We love all of our people.
So
I like Totina's pizza rolls. I understand the passion for bagel bites.
bagel
Maybe.
bagel fights. Hashtag. See, Josh is like the
The king of the hashtag.
king of the hashtags here. He's coming up with the good ones. So, anyway, so what we were talking about doing is potentially doing something for just the patrons, and maybe doing like a movie night where we kind of celebrate some of um, the frozen treats like Totina's pizza rolls or bagel
Yeah.
bites, that type of thing. Post doing a run that day,
Mhm.
and then we'll figure out what the beverage would be. If we were doing something, we were kicking it
Something.
around between the Instagram chat and here about what would the beverage be. So, well, we could do a cocktail, a beer. We could do something that's kind of a elevated things you might do back when you were a kid. Maybe an elevated milkshake or an elevated root beer float or Coke
Or
float,
a cereal milk latte.
or cereal milk latte. Amy's getting all kinds of super fancy here. But yeah, I mean, there's some things that we could do that
Mhm.
would be, I think, a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
Yeah. So stay tuned. We're always taking suggestions and turning them into episodes.
JD from Horside Jakes knows it all. And let me tell you,
Oh,
Horside Jakes, our purveyors of lunch today.
yes.
Um, the food is amazing.
Mhm.
Horseye Jake's is one of our favorite food
Food
trucks here in
trucks.
Southwest Florida.
Oh my
They do some of the
goodness.
most amazing stuff, and they were
So
able
good.
to let us have a fantastic vegetarian lunch today by
Mhm.
doing a falafel slider
Oh, it was
that
so good.
your order is about $8, and you get these two basically fist-sized sliders that were just killer
It
bang for
was
your buck,
so good.
packed with flavor, great in terms of the texture,
Mhm.
and just something that you don't feel like, oh, it's just a slider, it's not enough lunch. No. There's plenty of lunch there. Believe me.
So good.
Our first night doing, we covered Horseye Jake's once on the show already
September
last September.
2020.
We way over ordered food. Oh my
But it was so
God, we
great
ordered
because
so
we
much
had
food.
like such a great sampling
We
of their
had no
menu.
idea how like your serving sizes are
So good.
so big.
Crab cake sliders.
Yeah, they do one that has this bacon jam with a jalapeno popper kind of thing
Oh my
going on with
goodness.
their
It's so good.
wow.
So
And
good.
this is coming from the person that eats vegan or vegetarian 6 days a week. I'm like, oh, day 7, it's here. And we
Yay.
got that. We actually got that. That was at Scotty's Beer Works,
Yes.
and we got that on our way out of town to go to Orlando for a run.
Yeah. Yeah. For one of the virtual races that we ran up there at Disney. So we had their burgers. Their sliders that are, oh gosh, with bacon and just the crab cake with the sauce and the wedge of lemon and
Uh huh. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm
I think
lucky
I'm
enough.
drooling a little.
We do a food truck at least one day a week at my work, and when I saw that it was there today, I texted Amy. I'm like, guess who's
You just
here?
have to do it. Do it.
So I was fortunate enough to be able to run
So
down to
good.
the parking lot, grab food, and come home and eat lunch and do that. So
Brought it to me.
thank you
So
guys so
nice.
much, Trisha.
So
You guys
nice.
are killer, and we can't wait to have
The
more of your
buns.
food.
The buns are so good.
There's nothing bad of it. Honestly, we've literally eaten, I think, a little bit of everything from
We
their
haven't had
menu.
when they had the chicken and waffle sliders, we didn't have
We
those.
didn't have those.
We have to go back and recoup that, have that.
Okay.
So
Don't threaten me with a good time.
whenever you're gonna do that, just let us know. Because
Yeah, no,
reasons.
we had we
Science.
love the yeah,
I'm sorry.
we're gonna do it for research.
Yeah.
Research purposes only. That's it.
Hmm. Oh, so good. So good.
Oh, Trisha, you have no idea that the we have great buns. You have no idea the can of worms just opened up
I
there with
know.
our friend Josh in
Oh
the
yeah.
chat.
Oh
So,
yeah.
Josh, it's a free fire zone. Trisha, open the door.
Yep. For sure. And we love it. It's so
No.
fun. It's
Yeah,
so
you
fun.
guys are so
So
much
fun.
fun, and and again we love you guys at Horseye Jake's.
Hmm.
The food is killer. Thank you, and we're really glad you like in the podcast. We
Yay.
love your food. Um, we are going to be getting off of here. We're coming upon, I believe, we just crossed the 1 hour mark, so
We
we're
did.
gonna call it a
We
night.
did.
And thank you for joining us. Again, like we talked about at the beginning, there is a little bit of housekeeping, which is our podcast host,
Yeah.
as well as a number of other podcast hosts have been recently subjected to a denial of service attack. If you have not seen a new episode update from us in the last 2 weeks, it's
Yeah.
because of the attack that our podcast host
Mm.
has been dealing with. Please, in your podcast app, if you're not seeing the new episodes, and our most recent episode is 154,
Yep.
unsubscribe, delete our podcast from your library, and then immediately resubscribe. The key part there is immediately resubscribe. We don't ever want you to unsubscribe. We love that you guys are listening, and we cannot thank you enough. This
Cheryl, have a good night.
appears to only be affecting users of um, the Apple Podcast app, and
Yes.
hopefully that is yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
bring that one up here. The that appears to be only affecting users of the Apple Podcast app. Everybody else seems to be okay. Our pod host has been posting that everything seems to be back to normal now.
Yep.
So thank you if you
Mhm.
guys missed out on that.
Yeah.
And David, yes, we are on Patreon, patreon.com/run eat drink podcast. We do have 3 patronage levels available: $2,
Mhm.
$5, and $10 levels. Each of those levels have their own special perks. We would love for you to join us over there. We've
Shout out to Josh
Josh
and
just
to
upgraded to the
Joanne.
$10 level. Joanne
Jojo.
just jumped in. She jumped in both feet into the deep end of the pool. We cannot thank her enough.
Yeah.
Josh has been with us for a couple of months now, and or a few months now, and he just upgraded. Thank you. And again, the stuff
Yes.
that we're doing to improve the set and the things that we're adding are all because of you guys.
Mhm.
That is 100% funded
Yep.
by the patronage that you guys are giving us,
Mhm.
and it's because of you, and we can't thank you enough for doing that. So
You're incredible people, and the support that you give us makes us so. I mean, you text me because you get the notifications at your email, and when you do, and I, I just, I get a little emotional.
Amy gets a little bit
I
teary.
do
Yeah.
because
Every time we get a new patron or
I'm very
somebody
thankful.
upgrades, you guys are amazing.
Yeah.
And
So
the fact that we have been able to keep going through 2020 was
yeah,
unexpected. And then even more unexpected was that we were able to grow.
yeah.
Never would have thought that was going to happen. So you guys are amazing for doing that for us.
So
And we cannot overstate that enough, or we
yeah.
can't overstate that. We can't say it enough.
Hmm.
You guys are just amazing to us,
And
and
we love you
can't
all.
thank you
And we love
enough.
everybody who listens to our show. We love everybody who just supports us in the lives and social media. And our community is incredible.
Yeah, and we're wanting to inspire you to get out and move. We're wanting to inspire you to go explore your
Mhm.
town and
Yeah.
find new and amazing food. And we're wanting to expand your palates. If you're looking at doing craft beer or cocktails or coffee
Pizza.
and tea, whatever the case may be, we want you to accomplish, explore, and indulge. Those are the 3 things that we're wanting you to do.
And then let us know where to go in your hometown so that when we can
Oh
travel
yeah.
again, we know where to go.
We do need your help as far as
Yeah.
that goes. Once we're able to get some traveling in and races are actually going to host a race, the
Mm.
organizers are able to do it. We're going. It's
Yeah.
happening.
Totally.
So this one
So
here, at this point, she'd be like, "I'm gonna do it. I'll strap up my leg and just go." I mean,
I'll walk.
she's champing at the bit for an
Yeah.
opportunity to do a in-person race somewhere. So
Totally.
anyway,
So we love you all.
thank you for hanging out with us for an
Mwah.
hour. That's the purpose of these here. It's not the beer. It's just a chance to hang out, tune out the news and the BS of the
Yeah.
world for an hour, and just
Yeah.
just come together. So,
Yeah.
whether you are a Chicago pizza fan, a New York pizza fan, a Montreal bagel
Totino's,
fan,
pizza
a
rolls,
Totino's pizza roll
or bagel
fan, or somebody
bites.
more correct and likes bagel bites,
That's
whatever the case may
wrong.
be,
It's wrong.
we can't thank you enough for coming and hanging out for a little while. So,
We love you.
uh,
We love you.
you guys are awesome, and
Yay.
thank you so much.
You all take care. Stay safe. Stay well. We will accomplish, explore, and indulge with you again really soon.